Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something wildly entertaining, a completely raw, totally unedited piece of origin fiction from our source material. We're looking at the story of a humble farmer who, basically overnight, transforms into a literal universe-defending hero. And what's so amazing about this text is that it just does not hesitate. You know how most stories drag on with years of training or endless brooding? Not here. This thing hits the gas and propels us through the classic hero's journey at breakneck speed, hitting every major beat in a remarkably compressed time frame. So buckle up, because we're going to break down the absolutely incredible rise of King Panther. Okay, so every great hero needs a push, right? That inciting incident. And for our guy, it happens on what starts as just a totally normal day. He's a farmer living a quiet life with his mother and father. But then, as the text explicitly states, while heading to his farm, some people attacked him and his family. Boom. That violent disruption is the spark. But here's where the pacing gets really unique. These aren't lifelong tormentors. In fact, after exactly 2 days, the attacks just stop. Mysteriously, completely stop. But the psychological impact, that's forever. Our farmer suddenly realizes the world is a dangerous place, and he absolutely cannot just sit around waiting for the next shoe to drop.
So that brings us to Section 1, Origins and Funding the Panther Suit.
Now you might be wondering, how exactly does a humble farmer afford a high-tech supersuit? Well, he makes a massive, staggering sacrifice. He literally sells his own house. And from that sale, he nets exactly 1 million money, which is the specific currency used in this universe. This is a huge, life-altering commitment. There's no billionaire benefactor here, no secret inheritance. The whole shebang is self-funded by liquidating his only major asset. Talk about dedication to the cause, right? And what I absolutely love about this source material is this incredibly specific economic audit it gives us. He doesn't just blow the whole million recklessly in one go. Nah, first he buys a big box with full of scraps and metals. Then, realizing he needs an upgrade, he grabs some realist flying gears. But check out that bottom line. Even after buying all the parts for a high-tech armored suit, he still has $500,000 money left over. He literally managed to save exactly half his budget. Honestly, it's a total masterclass in superhero fiscal responsibility. Moving right along to Section 2, Engineering and Flight Upgrades. So, with the materials secured, the actual building phase begins, and guys, his manufacturing process is just brilliant. Step 1, like we saw, is buying that big box of scraps. But Step 2? This is where it goes wildly unconventional in the best way. He goes to a public park to build the suit. Let that sink in. No secret underground cave, no heavily guarded lab. He is just out there, in broad daylight, hammering metal scraps together in a public space. And then we hit Step 3, which involves some quick, on-the-fly problem solving. The text notes his initial suit couldn't fly in the air/sky. Makes sense. So to fix that rather critical design flaw, he dips back into his funds for those realist flying gears we mentioned, successfully taking his mobility from ground level to fully airborne. When you map out this chaotic yet meticulously documented timeline, you get this incredible 40-day sprint. Day 1, the attack happens. 2 days later, the attacks stop and the idea is born. Then he spends exactly 1 month out in that public park building the suit, and this is crucial, he doesn't rush into battle completely exhausted. The text specifically points out a 10-day rest period. So by day 40, our ordinary citizen has fully evolved into a well-rested, heavily armored, flying vigilante. It is just such a tight, efficient structure. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the twin monster attack. All right, so the suit is built, our hero is rested, and wow, does the threat level escalate fast. He's just out there going about his business, testing the suit, saving some people, when suddenly, out of nowhere, 2 actual monsters show up. We're not talking about petty thieves or those unnamed guys from day 1 anymore. The universe has instantly thrown a massive supernatural threat right at him. It is the absolute ultimate test for his scrap metal suit and his realist flying gears. And he doesn't even blink. He just immediately starts to fight. But when you compare the fates of these 2 monsters, it creates this super fascinating dynamic. During the fight, Monster 1 actually gets scared and just leaves. So our hero scores this massive psychological victory without even having to finish the brawl. Just the sheer presence of the suit terrifies the beast. Monster 2, on the other hand, decides to stick around, and the text gives us this vivid, brutal description, stating the hero beats that monster up to dead. It is a completely decisive physical defeat. So you've got one enemy conquered by fear, and the other conquered by absolute force. And that brings us to our final act, Section 4, Rise of King Panther. Now, the immediate threat in the streets is handled, but there's still one massive loose end to tie up before our protagonist can truly claim his destiny. Our hero, victorious but probably a bit tired, heads back to what's left of his house. But wait, the suspense spikes right back up. He discovers that the first monster, yeah, the cowardly one that ran away, is actually inside his house, waiting in ambush, trying to kill him. It completely flips the classic home invasion trope on its head. And right there, in this incredibly tense, life-or-death moment of combat, the text officially christens him. He is given his heroic name, spelled distinctively in the source, by the way, as King Panther. Completely embracing this new identity, he fiercely beats and finally kills that lingering monster, securing his home and his world once and for all.
Which brings us to the grand finale of this whole narrative arc. With both monsters officially defeated, the source material drops this absolutely epic, mythopoetic final line. He became the king in his own universe named King Panther. I mean, what a triumph. He didn't just survive, he didn't just save his neighborhood, he achieved total sovereignty. He went from a humble village farmer tending his crops all the way to a universal monarch entirely based on his own merit, courage, and some incredibly clever engineering. So we have literally witnessed the birth of a legend today. It's this wildly fast-paced tale of sacrifice, public park engineering, and epic monster slaying. But as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought that kind of yanks this whole cosmic journey right back down to reality. The monsters are dead, his universe is completely safe, he is officially the king. But remember that budget breakdown we looked at? He is still sitting on a massive pile of unspent cash. So with his universe totally secure, what on earth is King Panther going to do with his remaining $500,000 money? It's this delightfully grounded, lingering question that just proves even the most fantastical superhero journeys are still bound by a budget. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this text today and keep questioning the story behind the story.